little bit of scouting beforehand and then just feeling out the game as it gets started.
Yep, and we are ready for tip-off as it is Danielle Garvin going against the freshman Brittany Smith from UCF. Garvin wins it back to Walters as Walters gets it back to Bug, crosses the timeline, and the season is underway for the Pitt women's squad here, taking on the UCF Knights. Into the corner, down low Garvin. Puts up a swing-around shot, no good, rebounded by UCF. Bringing the ball up, KK Wright for the Knights. Over to the left side, looks down low, but goes back to the top of the key. It's Schuler. Now down low. Double team down low is Smith as the ball goes out of bounds with 9:26 left in the first quarter. No score yet. The first foul of the season is called on Callista Walters, her first, team first.
And that's something we're going to have to watch out for today, Drew, because Callista Walters is one of the prominent post players for this Pitt squad, and if she gets into foul trouble, they're going to have some difficulty with the 6'3" Brittany Smith down low.
Wright brings it in, puts up a running shot. It's swatted away by Bradley. Into the hands, though, of Smith for the Knights, who puts it up, and UCF takes a 2-0 lead with 9:05 left in the first quarter. As Pitt brings the ball up now, and the ball swatted out of bounds on a pass by Thigpen, but it will stay in Pitt's possession.
And we saw that full court pressure from UCF, and we talked to assistant coach Tawny Valeria before the game, Drew, and she said that's something that they pride themselves on is pressing and defense.
Walsh goes over corner, but back out, and now down low. Bradley, a good move. Puts it in for the first points of the Pitt season. We're tied at 2. Kawhi Bradley, the senior, who averaged 5 points a game, knocks it up early on.
And that's a great thing for the Panthers when you see Asia Bug back in the game, missed all of last season due to injury, so a big spot for her as she needs to be the senior leader that this team needs.
Whistle blown and a foul called against UCF. Nyala Schuler, her first, team first. Ball inbounded to Walsh for Pitt, who goes back to Bug, the redshirt senior, bringing up the near side of the court. And now over to Walsh. Backside to Bradley. Bradley goes back up to Bug, calls out a play with 14 on the shot clock. Bug, right wing Walsh, now over to Garvin. Good ball movement as Bug finds Bradley. 3-ball, no good. Strong rebound by Schuler of UCF. Wright goes over to Thigpen. Wright will throw it over, right corner, and back over Thigpen. So UCF squad finished third in the AAC last season. As Wright, a junior for this squad with 2 on the shot clock, gets it over Thigpen. Contested shot, swatted away. A shot clock violation with 7:26 left in the first quarter of play, and the score's tied 2-2. Some subs on for Pitt. It is Jayla Henry checking into the game as Callista Walters sits down for the Panthers. Bug goes over to Walsh. Walsh finds Bug again, who will drive. Bug puts up a running shot, rims out, rebounded by the Knights. UCF rushes the court. It's Wright who will pull up, scratch that, kick it back out to the right side. And Thigpen goes over to Wright, and a whistle blown as Omakore hit the ground down low. A foul is called against the Panthers. It's Jayla Henry who gets her first, team second.
And again, it looks like UCF is going to try and pound the ball down low and get those post players of Pitt in foul trouble early.
Inbounding is Thigpen, having some trouble, and we have a 5-second inbound violation. Pitt gets the ball back after the turnover by the Knights with 6:58 left in the first quarter. Tie game, 2-2.
In the past 2 possessions for the Knights, they had a shot clock violation and then a 5-second violation, so great defense early on from this Panthers squad.
Good defense on both ends as we're over 3 minutes in. Just a basket for each squad. Bradley with the ball for the Panthers. Goes over to Garvin. Garvin will bring it in. The ball's swatted away. She's able to regain control and now has it taken away again. A foul's called on what looks like to be Garvin, her first, team third. As Jasmine Whitney checks into the game, a junior who started 30 games for this Pitt squad last season. Score tied with 6.5 left in the first. Score is 2-2 as Wright brings the ball up for UCF. Schuler goes over to McDonald. McDonald, 3-ball attempted in the corner. Good, that was Wright. Rebounded by Bug, who will rush it, get it over to Bradley. Bradley puts it up and in. Pitt takes the lead, 4-2 with 6:05 left in the first quarter. It's Bradley picking up her 4th point. Pitt has the lead.
And that's just vintage Pitt basketball when you think about Jasmine Whitney being a facilitator for this Pitt women's squad.
Down low, Omakore. Fouled on her way up. It's Henry who gets called for her 2nd, team 4th. Omakore will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Knights. Redshirt junior who missed all of last season with an injury and misses the first of 2. Checking into the game for the Panthers is Kyla Nelson, along with Kara Judkins.
It looks like early the Panthers are going to have to mix in all of those post players that they do have. Don't necessarily have a height advantage against this UCF team, but they do have a lot of bodies that have experience.
Omakore knocks down the second. It's 4-3. Pitt leads. 5:40 left in the first quarter of play. Bug calling out a play at the top of the key. Goes over to Bradley. And Bradley puts up a circus shot, which is nowhere close as a foul's called, and it's a charge that goes against Bradley. Pitt's 5th team foul. That's the 4th against Bradley.
And that was a great job by number 5, Masakaba, really standing her ground and getting her feet set, knowing that Bradley was coming in hard and taking the contact.
Kaba, a UCF player that's a lot of time last year, was one of the most productive players on the squad. Shot, 3-point shot, no good by McDonald. Ball out of bounds with 5:09 left in the first quarter. Pitt leading 4-3. Panthers will get possession back as Nelson inbounds the Bug. Or excuse me, that's Whitney. And now Nelson is fouled. It's going to go against Jamisha Paul of UCF. At her first. Just team 2nd against UCF. Halfway through the first quarter, the Panthers lead 4-3. Bug with the ball against Paul. Goes over Bradley. Bradley back over Nelson, right side. Strong pass and now into the corner. Bradley with 9 on the shot clock goes back over to Whitney. Whitney finds Bug. Bug puts up a shot. Too much on it, no good. And a whistle blown, foul called with 4:34 left in this first quarter of play. And another whistle.
Event Center, and it leads the country with the highest attended educational field trip. They had over 200 buses that they were expecting to bring students in here, so very loud and a great atmosphere to start off the season.
Year in and year out, one of the most rowdy games of the season for this Pitt women's team as we're back into action with under 4.5 left in the first quarter. Bradley goes over to Whitney, now finds Bug. Bug controlling the ball with 11 on the shot clock, finds Whitney down low. Whitney's shot no good. Offensive board by Nelson. Nelson kicks back out to Bug. The redshirt senior who missed all of last season due to injuries is back for her final season as a Panther. Bug launches up a 3, buried. Pitt goes ahead, 7-3 after Asia Bug picks up her first points of the season. Whistle blown with 3:53 left in the first. Garvin back into the game along with Walsh and Walters for the Panthers.
And early on, Drew, I love the rotation that Lance White is having with his players. No one's playing a ton of minutes. They're really getting in there, being effective, and then getting a rest.
Some depth to this experienced Pitt team is going down low with the ball to Kaba. Back out to Paul. Paul finds Kaba down low, goes over, far side, shot no good. Rebounded by Bug. Or excuse me, that's Whitney bringing the ball up, who has a pass get away from her. And a double dribble is the call as Whitney turns the ball over with 3:24 left in the first quarter. The Panthers leading the Knights 7-3.
And you could see on that play Jasmine Whitney looking at Garvin and saying, I had you that time, just didn't get the pass where she wanted it to go. So a little bit of miscommunication, but so far the Panthers have done a great job at ball movement, and so have the Knights. They just haven't been as successful offensively.
Diamond Battles checking for the Knights. Her first action as a UCF player, freshman. Now the ball over to Paul. Paul puts up a shot. Good defense down low by Walters. The ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay on UCF's end as the Panthers lead 7-3. Little over 3 left in this first quarter of play. Battles inbound from under her own hoop. Gets it into the backcourt. Right. Now at the top of the key. Goes over to Battles. Battles finds Wright. Wright puts up a shot. It's short. But a rebound and a foul called, as it was Kaba who was fouled by
I easily think that could have been an over-the-back call on Asia Bug, but looked like with Kaba just kind of pushed Bug a little bit too much on that play.
So the foul goes against Kaba. Pitt keeps the ball, or Pitt gets the ball back as Walsh is fouled with 2:46 left in the first quarter, and the Panthers leading 7-3. At the scorer's table is Brittany Smith for UCF. Walsh will go to the line to shoot a pair of free throws as Pitt is now in the double bonus after UCF takes its 5th foul of this first quarter of play. Excuse me. It will end up being Walters at the line, a senior for this program that is very, very experienced. We're excited to see what she can do in her final season as she drains the first of 2.
And Walters was quietly last year one of the best offensive players in the ACC. She led the conference in field goal percentage at 66%, which is unheard of. Most of her baskets coming down and around the hoop, but still an incredible offensive player for this Pitt team.
She knocks down both free throws, giving the Panthers a 9-3 lead with around 2.5 left in the first quarter. Wright on the left side goes top of the key to Endor. Now over to Battles. Driving the baseline, tossing it out left wing to Wright. Back over Battles. Deep 2 put up, and it's airballed. Walsh lost her footing, but is able to regain control. Goes over to Whitney. Whitney back to Walsh. Walsh back to Whitney. With 17 on the shot clock. Whitney drives into and now kicks it out to Walsh. Walsh puts up a runner from the free throw line, gets it to go. Cassidy Walsh with her first points of the season. The senior from Seton LaSalle puts the Panthers ahead 11-3.
And kind of a rare 2 points for Cassidy Walsh, more known as an outside threat for this Panthers team, but a great drive and again, great ball movement from the Panthers.
Wright with control of it, goes over, a shot put up, no good by Paul. Offensive board, and the follow-up layup is no good by Smith, and now rebounded by the Panthers. Whitney bringing the ball up. Goes to Nelson. Nelson into the corner to Walsh. Walsh down low. Now back out. Top of the key. 3 for Nelson's. No good. But an offensive board down low by Walters, and it's immediately swatted away and taken by the Knights. Wright bringing it down for this UCF squad. Back over to Paul. Several players at the scorer's table. Waiting for the next whistle. There's a minute left in this first quarter of play. The Panthers leading 11-3. Over to right, left side, and now checking it down low to Endor. Endor, her layup attempt is no good. Rebounded by the Panthers. Over to Walsh. Walsh is going to launch a three. No good. And the ball is rebounded. It was saved by Paul, and now up the right. UCF controlling it as Wright hits the deck and is able, looks down low to Smith, but the ball was out of Smith's reach as Pitt takes it over. 32 seconds left in this first quarter.
And there was a prime example of the great defense by Cassidy Walsh. That's what she's really known for this Panthers team. She has such a motor and is always working on the floor, whether it's offensively or defensively.
Garvin gets it to Bug, back to Garvin. About a 1-2 second difference between the game clock and shot clock as Battles is going to be called for a foul, which will send Pitt to the line to shoot a pair with 24 seconds left in this first quarter of play. It's Asia Bug who goes to the line. As we mentioned, missed all of last season with an injury. She's unable to knock down the first. So now a redshirt senior has started in 87, well now 88 games for this Pitt team. A very productive member. One of the floor generals. She knocks down the second, giving Pitt a 12-3 lead. Shot clock is dead as we wind down here in the first quarter. Wright controls the ball over to McDonald. McDonald back to Wright. And a whistle blown. We have a foul called down low. Looks like it's against Pitt. We're going to get Kara Judkins, the sophomore, with her first. That will send UCF to the line to shoot a pair of free throws as it's Omakore. With around 12 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Omakore, redshirt junior, gets the roll on the first. Making it a 12-4 game. Now Omakore gets the roll again on the second. Busy at the line early as Omakore. Under 10 remaining in the quarter. It goes over to Nelson, who's in trouble with a double team. The ball's swatted away and now out of bounds with 1 second left. And the Panthers leading 12-5.
And that was a great double team there from UCF. That's, like I said earlier, what they pride themselves on, that tough defense and really putting the pressure on their opponent.
Bug will inbound right in front of us. Gets it back to Bug. It's good if it goes, but...
The NCAA tournament for the first time in program history in 2007. So what a great player to kind of develop the tradition of this Panthers team in years past. And here they are today leading the UCF Knights 12-5, start of the second quarter.
As a three is launched up and no good. Rebounded by nobody as the ball goes out of bounds and will go back to the Panthers with 9:44 left in this first quarter of play. Panthers leading by 7. Ball inbounded to Walsh. Now goes near side to Bug. Walsh on the left side. Back to Bug, who finds Bradley. An experienced Pitt squad with good ball movements. 13 on the shot clock. A shot no good because there was a foul. That's going to send Danielle Garvin to the line to shoot a pair. Panthers lead 12-5 with 9:25 left in this first quarter.
And really so far a tough offensive performance for both teams, especially the Knights. They started the first quarter and only had 1 field goal for the entire first quarter. Didn't make a three, only 1 3 made in the game, and that was by the Panthers' Asia Bug. Panthers on the other side shot 4 of 11, so shooting at a 36.4% clip, but just not really, I guess, a little bit of knocking off the rust here in the first game for both teams, especially considering it started at 11 a.m.
Garvin able to knock down both free throws. Panthers lead by 9. UCF looking to cut into that, and Wright will do so. Knocks down a jumper, making it 14-7. Panthers bringing the ball up. It's Bug. And a foul is going to be called as Wright hit the deck for UCF. It's going to go against Daniel Garvin as Nelson and Walters come back into the game for the Panthers.
And I think on that play, it was just a little bit too aggressive of Danielle Garvin on that screen. Really kind of caught KK right off guard there. She's a little shaken up. It stayed in the game.
Wright, a junior for this team, plays just as many minutes as anybody. Ball goes over, a three-point try, no good. Attempted by Schuler, rebounded by the Panthers. Up with it is Bug, goes over to Bradley, back to Bug. Bug thought about a three, but will go back over to Bradley, who finds Nelson. Nelson over to Walsh, and Walsh down near the paint to Bradley, but back to Walsh. Over to Bug, three-point shot, and that's good. Asia Bug knocks down her second triple of the contest. That puts Pitt ahead by double digits, 17-7.
What a pretty shot from Asia Bug. Nothing but net there on the three. And again, the strong defense down low from the Panthers.
Omakore couldn't get it to go, got her own rebound. Can't get it to go again. And the ball now goes out of bounds off of UCF. Pitt takes control with under 8 remaining in the first half of play. Ball intercepted by UCF. Bringing it up is Wright. Wright, reverse layup, no good. But the rebound and putback by Schuler makes it a 17-9 game with 7:40 left in the second quarter of play. Ball go over to Bradley. Bug, another three-point try. That one's no good, and a rebound by UCF. Into the hands of Wright, who brings it up for the Knights. Over to Schuler. Gets it to Wilson. Three-point try from the near corner's no good. It's attempted by McDonald. A rebound pulled in by Nelson of the Panthers. Walsh wants a three from the corner, and she got it! Pitt leads 20-9 with 6:55 left.
They're starting to heat up. They're 3 of 6, and last season they averaged 6 made three-pointers a game compared to the UCF Knights, who only averaged 1.5. So a big difference in these teams, and the Panthers doing a great job so far today behind the arc.
UCF controls it. Shot put up. It's no good. Rebounded by Whitney of the Panthers. Whitney goes back to the senior Bug. Bradley over to Whitney. And Bug now, 14 left on the shot clock, gives it off to Nelson. Panthers leading by 11. Nelson's in trouble, but she's able to get it away to Bradley. 4 on the shot clock. Back to Bug with 2 on the shot clock. Bud gets it off. Three-point try by Whitney, unable to go. An offensive rebound, and back out the Bug as a fresh shot clock. 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Panthers leading 20-9, and a whistle blown, foul called. It looks like Bug will get called for the foul.
Actually, foul goes to Kyla Nelson on the screen. So that'll be Nelson's first. The Panthers, as a team, have 8 personal fouls, but they've really spread it out. No one in foul trouble so far in this game.
UCF looking to get the offense in the groove. It's Paul now, who goes down low. Smith bodying up down low, unable to get it to go, but an offensive board. And the putback by Schuler is good, making it a 20-11 game with over 5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Nelson over to Bradley. Bradley down low. Walters left-handed layup goes. 4 points for the senior, who averaged 10 all of last season.
Calista Walters just always seems to find herself in the right spot. The play before that, she found herself with the offensive rebound to give her team back the ball, and then there, just getting herself in the right spot to get the 2 points.
Paul to Wright. Wright shot is short, rebounded by Bradley. Under 5 left in this first half of play. Bradley's going to drive. First shot, can't get it to go. It's rebounded by UCF. Schuler at the top of the key, goes down low, Smith. Smith, turnaround, layup is in. That's 4 points for the freshman, making it 22-13 with 4.5 left in this first half of play. Whitney looks to go down low to Walters, but it's swatted away by UCF. Knights take it away. Paul now will drive. He's going to put up a contested shot, and she gets it to go. Jamisha Paul's first points of the contest. And a timeout is called by the Panthers with 4:16 left in the second quarter of play. A 7-point lead as Pitt leads UCF 22-15. We'll be back. Seven-point lead for the Panthers as Pitt will get the ball inbound here. 4:16 remaining in the second quarter. In the first start, or I guess I should say first game of Lance White's coaching career for this Pitt team. The Panthers look good so far, 22-15 lead late in the first half. Bug goes over Bradley, now Whitney. It's Walsh who finds Bradley, and over to Bug off her foot. She's able to get control of the ball with 8 on the shot clock. Bug go left side after a pick. She puts up a jumper and knocks it down. 9 points for the redshirt senior, gives Pitt a 24-15 lead.
And Aisha Bug has looked so sharp today after missing all last season.
Paul knocks down a shot for UCF, making it a 24-17 game. Bug, controlling the ball, has played pretty much all of this first half of play. It's Whitney now. Goes to Bradley, back out to Walsh. Whitney, down low. Walters runs into a couple Knights, and the ball is tied up. He'll stay with the Panthers with 3:10 left in this second quarter of play. 5 on the shot clock. The Panthers lead by 7.
And that was a great job there by UCF defensively. KK Wright sliding down from the top of the key and double teaming Callista Walters.
Inbounded to Walters. Walters puts up a shot, but it's blocked away by Schuler of UCF. Paul brings it up, so there's 3 minutes remaining in this first half. Paul puts one up from the foul line. Can't get it to go. Fight for the ball. It's controlled by Walsh. Walsh brings it up. She goes over Bug. Bug wants a triple. She can't get it. But it's rebounded by the Panthers. Whitney goes back over to Bug, who slows it down with 2.5 remaining in the second quarter of play. Bug against Paul, goes over Bradley. In near the free throw line, and we have another jump ball. This one will go towards UCF with 2:24 left in the first half. Panthers leading 24-17.
And UCF is starting to pick it up offensively here late in the second quarter. They're shooting 40% this quarter compared to their total for the game at just 26.
Thigpen over to Schuler. Paul now will drive the baseline. She puts up a contested on, gets it to go. Paul now with 6, leading all UCF scorers, making it a 5-point game with under 2 remaining in the first half. Press broke out by UCF as Whitney now facing a double team has a whistle blown and a foul called will go against Jamisha Paul of the Knights.
And the Panthers keep putting themselves in that tough spot right here in front of us, Drew, and they keep picking up their dribble. Whenever they're successful at breaking that press, what they're doing is they're keeping their passes and no one is dribbling. They're just getting pass to pass to pass. And when they get stuck in this corner is when they have trouble.
UCF likes to press, is what we were told by the coaching staff pregame. It's now Bug will go back out to Bradley. Bradley finds Walsh, and Walsh over to Nelson. Ball fake in the corner now. Double teamed again. Fighting as the ball is swatted out of bounds and off the Panthers. UCF takes over with under 90 seconds remaining in this first half, trailing 24-19. And it's KK Wright, the junior, who brings the ball up for the Knights. Wright over to Schuler. Back over to Wright. Wright puts up a running shot and gets it to go. So now a 3-point lead for the Panthers as Nelson inbounds the Walsh. 1 minute remaining in this first half of play. Bug. Back to Bug. Whistle blown and a foul called. 50 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
And a great job down low by Kara Judkins, getting herself positioned well, and then the UCF player trying to fight through her to get to the ball, and the foul called.
Schuler, who gets called for her second, team third. And the inbound goes to Nelson. Nelson, stop and pop, got it to go. Kyla Nelson's first points of the young season, and Panthers are back to a 5-point lead. 12-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. It's Wright back over. Thigpen wants a three from the left side. She can't get it to go, but an offensive board by Schuler, and now a jump ball down low. The Panthers get control of it. 26 seconds remaining. And the shot clock will be dead for the remainder of this first half. Bug over to Walsh. 18 on the game clock. It's taken away by UCF. Wright will bring it up. Wright now back out to the left side. It's Wilson. Wilson goes to Endor. Deep three put up, and that is drained right before the buzzer by Kayla Thigpen.
The thing I saw was turnovers. Panthers had 11 turnovers in that first half, compared to 3 for UCF, and then UCF had 13 points off of those 11 turnovers, and the Panthers only had 1 point off of turnovers. So a big factor in that game, and then UCF just started to make shots. They shot 47% in that second quarter compared to under 10 in the first.
So UCF opens up this second half with possession. The ball, though, is thrown out of bounds, and it's off Pitt. UCF will press early on, 10 seconds in to this second half, and the Panthers leading by 2 points. Up to Walsh, and Walsh over to Bug, who finds Bradley in the corner, but Bradley goes back over to Asia Bug. Walsh on the far side, over to Bug with 12 seconds on the shot clock. Bug gets it to Bradley, now down low, Walters back out, Bug, Walsh. Garvin puts up a jumper, and that's knocked down. Garvin's got 4, and the Panthers have a 4-point lead.
And just great ball movement again, winding down the shot clock for the Panthers, and then that baseline jumper that Danielle Garvin loves, and she hit it.
Three-pointer buried. UCF cuts it to 1 after the triple is knocked down by Sydnee McDonald. Her first points of the season. 28-27, Pitt leads. Down low, back out the Bug. Just over a minute into this second half, the Panthers lead by a single point. Bug with the ball, under 10 on the shot clock. Down low, Walters. Walters finds a cutting Garvin, but the ball is swatted into the hands of UCF. Wright eventually gets it over Thigpen on the right side, guarded by Walsh. Right on that left side, UCF wants a three, unable to get it to go, but the ball is now knocked out of bounds. Last off UCF, the Panthers get control. 28-27, Pitt leads with 8:13 left in the third quarter. Garvin will inbound against the press. Bug up to Bradley. Bradley brings it into the paint, but now sends it back out to Bug. Garvin looks to drive against some strong defense by Thigpen, but the foul is called against UCF. It's Thigpen who's called for her first, team first. Pitt looks to inbound. It's Bug who gets it in to Whitney. Over to Garvin, who tries to go down low, but Walters unable to control it. Goes to save it. The ball's out of bounds off Pitt. UCF gets the ball back, trailing 28-27.
It seemed like Danielle Garvin wasn't sure exactly what she wanted to do on that play. It looked like she was going to shoot it, and then she saw Calissa Walters on the block down low and tried to make the pass just a little bit too high and out of reach for Walters.
Right, looks to Thigpen. Thigpen will drive and gets a clear lane, able to put it up and in. UCF has the lead for the first time since very early in that first half of play. It's Thigpen who's got 5, and a turnover now for the Knights. Back to McDonald. McDonald puts it up and in. And a time. Panthers trail 31-28 now. Early in this second half of play, 5 quick second half points by Sydnee McDonald has given UCF the lead. Panthers with possession. It's Whitney near side. Goes over to Bug. Bug trying to work it down low. Swatted into the hands of Whitney. Jasmine Whitney picks up her first points of the season.
And you can see Calista Walters point at Jasmine Whitney like, hey, I absolutely intended to knock that ball right to you. And then right back with 2 quick points are the Knights.
Yeah, it's Wright who feeds Kaba. 3-point lead back to UCF. Pitt unable to make much out of that possession as UCF brings the ball down. Wright, pull-up jumper buried. And KK Wright has half a dozen. And a 5-point lead now for UCF with 6.5 left in the third quarter. Bradley looks out the Bug. Bug wants a 3. She can't get it to go. And it's rebounded by UCF, where a foul is eventually called against Pitt.
And that foul goes on Danielle Garvin, her 3rd. So that's the first Panther today to have 3 personal fouls, and the first person overall in this game. So Danielle Garvin in a little bit of foul trouble, but stays on the floor for first-year head coach Lance White.
As Nelson comes to the scorer's table for Pitt. Wright, though, on the UCF side. It's now down into the hands. A 3-ball launched up by McDonald's. No good. Rebounded by Pitt. Bug finds Bradley. Bradley on the left wing. Back out the Bug. Under 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Panthers trail by 5. Over to Bug. Down low, Judkins back over, shot put up by Garvin's no good. The whistle blown, 5:43 left in the third quarter. Foul will be called against UCF. It's Masani Kaba who gets called.
And just like that, we have 2 players, 1 on each team with 3 fouls. So Kaba picking up her 3rd and immediately coming out of the game for head coach Katie Abrahamson-Henderson.
So Whitney looks inbound to the Panthers. Immediately to Walsh. She wants a 3 and she got it. Back to a 2-point game as Cassidy Walsh knocks down the triple. 35-33. Walsh has 8.
And that was a point that the Panthers really needed. They've been struggling a little bit offensively, and UCF had been on a roll, so a great run stopper there by Cassidy Walsh.
McDonald goes corner to right. 13 on the shot clock, back out to Thigpen. Thigpen goes to Wright. Wright's going to look for a corner three. She can't get it, but an offensive board by Smith. Straight back up with it. No good. Rebounded by the Panthers. Bringing it down is Nelson. Nelson looks to rush. Can't get it to go, but a whistle's blown with 4:55 left in the third quarter. Foul's going to be called against UCF. It's Smith who gets popped for her second. 5 remaining in the third quarter. Kyla Nelson at the line for the Panthers to shoot a pair of free throws, and Nelson able to get the first to go. A sophomore who started 9 games for this Panthers team last season, averaging 5 points a game. Now has 4 in this one after knocking down both free throws, tying the game up at 35 all. UCF with control, Wright goes over to McDonald. Back over Paul on the left side. Paul gets it to Schuler. Puts up a free throw line jumper, no good. Rebounded by Walsh. The Panthers, it's Bradley over to Nelson who wants a three, and she got it! Pitt goes ahead, 38-35. Kyla Nelson.
And such pretty ball movement by the Panthers, just pushing the ball into the paint, kicking it back out, and then Nelson with the sweet left-handed shot.
McCoray on the other end can't get it to go, and Nelson with the rebound. Nelson gets it to Bradley. Whitney back to Bradley who wants a three, and she got it to go. Pitt goes up by 6. Nelson Panthers has an 8-point run now after that media timeout. Less than a minute ago has given the Panthers a 6-point lead. Nelson with 5 points. Bradley with a big 3.
And Pitt really just flipped a switch offensively. All of a sudden, they get 2 great possessions and back-to-back threes, and they find themselves with the lead.
Battles controlling the ball now over to Paul. 3-point shot by McDonald is buried, and back to a 1-score game as Sydnee McDonald has 8 points, all coming in this second half. Nelson over to Whitney. Whitney drives to the hoop. She can't get the roll, but she was fouled on her drive through the paint and will go to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. It was Schuler who gets called for the foul on UCF. And Whitney, the junior, who averaged over 7 points a game, at the line to shoot a pair of free throws. Knocks down the first, giving Pitt a 4-point lead, 42-38.
And a big key on that play for me was the one-man press break by Kyla Nelson, just coming up the middle of the UCF defense, and then everyone else was able to get themselves where they wanted to be, which left the lane open for Jasmine Whitney.
Whitney knocks both of them down. Pitt leads 43-38 in this third quarter. Paul into the perimeter, back out to McDonald, who recently hit a big 3. Back out to Paul with 8 on the shot clock. Paul has it stolen away by Bradley, but now a fight for the ball and a jump ball right in front of us around midcourt. And Pitt will get the ball back as the possession arrow was pointing its way. Nelson, who's had a big second half here, will inbound to Whitney.
And I love the defense there by Kawhi Bradley. She has such long arms, and she's just able to get in all those passing lanes. That's what she's really been known for all throughout her career as a Panther, now in her senior year.
An experienced Pitt team, as we mentioned, leading by 5. Bradley into Nelson, back out to Walsh. Walsh goes to Whitney. Whitney's shot, no good, but a foul called against UCF will send Whitney back to the line where she just was a moment ago to shoot another pair of free throws.
And Whitney just can't get that friendly roll at the hoop. She just keeps getting those balls to roll out and can't get the finish for the and one.
Whitney, who started in almost every game for the Panthers last year, knocks down the first of 2, giving her 5. filling in primarily for Asia Bug, who missed the majority of the season due to injury. And Whitney looks to remain a big contributor to this Pitt team. She's got half a dozen, and Pitt's got a 7-point lead, 45-38, with around 2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Thigpen goes down to Paul, or excuse me, that's right, but a whistle's blown and a foul's called against the Panthers. Kawhi Bradley gets called for her second, team second. UCF inbounds to Wright. Wright at the left side goes over to Thigpen. Pick by Schuler gives Wright a chance to pull up, but the shot's no good. Ball swatted back out into the hands of the Knights. McDonald on the right side over to Thigpen. And McDonald wants a three from the same spot she knocked it down earlier, and she gets it to go, cutting Pitt's lead to 4. 45-41. McDonald's got 11, all in this second half of play, as the ball is out of bounds and off of UCF. But the same way Nelson has come into this game and made an impact for Pitt in the second half, Sydnee McDonald's been leading the way for this UCF team.
And Sydnee McDonald sure loves that right wing. 2 threes in a row for her, and she's really keeping her team in this game, now only down 4.
Walsh on the far side. Back out to Bug. Bug to Whitney, and Whitney, with 7 on the shot clock, goes over the Bug. Bug drives into the paint, but is fouled with 1:35 remaining in this third quarter. Pitt leading by 4. That's the 5th against UCF of this third quarter, which will send Asia Bug to the line. A redshirt senior, mentioned a couple times, her return to this Pitt team after not playing at all last year has started now in 88 games ranging back to 2014. She's into the double figures, knocking down the free throw, giving her 10. Pitt to a 5-point lead. And Bug can't get the second to go. So 46-41 with 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter is Pitt's lead. Thigpen controlling the ball, but goes back out the right. McDonald over to Thigpen, down low. Omakore's shot, no good, but she was fouled on her way up, which will send her to the line. It's Nelson who gets called for the foul against Pitt, her second, team third.
I thought that foul was going to go on Callista Walters, but regardless, it's only the second for Nelson as well. That would have been the second for Walters. So a great job of Walters of keeping herself out of foul trouble. Just need a little bit more offensive productivity from Walters, as she only has 4 points on the afternoon.
Omakore has been to the line now 3 times, unable to get it to go. First one, but the second one no good. Off the back of the iron, rebounded by Pitt. A strong rebound by Whitney, but there was a tie-up and a jump ball called, it looked like. Scratch that. There was a foul called against UCF. Thigpen, who got called against Whitney on their fight for the ball, on their fight for the rebound, and Whitney, who's 4 for 4 in this half from the line, make it 5 for 5.
And that makes 4 UCF Knights with 3 fouls in this game. You look at Thigpen, Schuler, Kaba, and Paul all have 3 fouls, and those are significant players for this Panthers team. And what a significant rebound by Callista Walters.
Whitney now controlling it, goes back out to Walsh, and Pitt leading by 6 with a minute remaining in the third quarter. Bug controls, 16 on the shot clock, over to Nelson. Nelson behind the back dribble, back out to Whitney, down low. Nelson gets it to Walsh. Walsh on the right side, has the ball swatted away, and now UCF, that's McDonald who hits the floor, and a jump ball's called, which will give the ball to the Knights with 43 seconds left in the third quarter.
I love the hustle by Asia Bug there. She knew that the UCF Knight player had the ball, but still went in for it to get the tie-up. and try and create an opportunity for her team, but just a little bit too much dribbling there from Cassidy Walsh and just not able to keep up with it.
You see it's Bug who was able to tie up McDonald on the floor, but late in this third quarter, UCF controls, trailing by 6. Schuler goes to Thigpen. Back out McDonald wants another 3. She can't get it, but it's swatted into her hands. Her follow-up shot no good. Omakore's try is no good. But we have a whistle blown and a foul called with 23 seconds left.
And what a great block down low by Callista Walters, stopping McDonald that first time, but then the ball going right down to Omakore, and that'll put her back at the free throw line.
Omakore, a redshirt junior out of Maryland. Her first of 2 is unable to go, making her 3 of 6 from the line today. Missed all of last year with an injury, but is back and seems like looking to get significant minutes for this UCF team as Walsh checks into the game for Bradley. Omakore's second of 2 is no good. It didn't hit the iron, so Pitt gets the ball back with 23 seconds remaining in this third quarter, leading 47-41.
And if I'm Pitt, if I need to foul someone on this UCF team, I'm filing Tolulope Omakore because she has not been consistent at all at the line.
Nelson with 11 on the game clock. The shot clock's dead. Bug over to Whitney. Whitney drives into the perimeter, pulls up. Her shot no good. Into the hands of Walsh. Good if it goes, but it's off the front of the iron. And no good. Third, or it's just a game statistic to this point. Pitt's done very well from the free throw line. UCF not so well on the other hand.
And what I realized when I said a moment ago that Omakore is the one you want at the foul line, she's the only one that's been at the foul line all day. 3 of 8. And then on the other side of that, the Panthers 13 of 16 on the afternoon. So big reason that the Panthers are able to lead this game is getting themselves to the charity stripe and making those shots.
And the shot no good, attempted by Garvin. So UCF bringing the ball up as Wright into the paint. Shot no good, but a foul called. Looks like they're going to get... That's Walsh, who gets called for her first, team first, which puts KK Wright at the line to shoot a pair. A junior who plays just as much as anybody on this UCF team. Good ball handler, one of the floor generals. Out of Orlando, Florida, so local to the UCF school, knocking down second of 2, giving her 7, making it a 47-42 Pitt lead. Bug with the ball, over to Whitney. Whitney drives into the paint, but can't get it to go as she broke a double team. Wright on the other hand, right-handed layup is up and in. So KK Wright got 9. It's back to a 1-possession game. Whitney throws it, baseline, Walsh wants a 3, and she buries it. Cassidy Walsh. Give her 11, give Pitt a 6-point lead as Walsh, who averaged just 2 points per game last season, is into the double figures. On the other end, KK Wright gets another one to go for UCF, giving her 11.
And KK Wright really putting this UCF team on her back here in the second half. She's really been the catalyst and has kept them in this game.
Walsh thought about a 3, but gives it back to Bug. Down low, Walters. Bug slows it down with 12 on the shot clock. A 4-point Pitt lead in the season opener against UCF. 3-point try by Whitney's no good, but an offensive rebound by Garvin. That won't go. Knights pull in the board. And Wright goes down low. Up with it is Kaba, but she traveled and turns the ball over to Pittsburgh with 8:03 left in regulation. Judkins will check back in for the Panthers.
And regardless of that play call there, or excuse me, the call by the referee of the travel, Callista Walters had the block.
Bradley with the ball for Pitt. Goes out the Bug. Over to Garvin. Panthers leading by 4, and the ball out of the hands of Bradley. But it was swatted away by the Knights. Lance White looking for a victory in his first game coached with this Pitt team. Inbound, 11 on the shot clock to Bug. Bug over to Bradley. Bradley looks into the corner. Whitney has to launch up a 3. It won't go, but she was fouled. And that will send Whitney, who's been to the line already 3 times in this second half, to the line for what I believe will be 3 free throws.
And it looks like her feet were behind that line, and Nyala Schuler kind of beside herself there on that play. Didn't really think she did much to Whitney, but nonetheless, the contact on Whitney will put her at the free throw line.
First of 3 is no good. So the score remains 50-46. Whitney with 7 points in this contest. That was about her season average last season. The second one's in, giving Pitt a 5-point lead as Kyla Nelson is back into the game for the Panthers. Bradley sits down. And we mentioned Pitt. So far, so good from the free throw line. UCF, on the other hand, not so much. Whitney knocks down 2 of 3. It's back to a 6-point advantage for the Panthers. Wright controlling the ball. Over into the corner to Paul. Paul will go down low. It's Kaba. 11 on the shot clock. Paul drives the baseline. Kaba left side, McDonald. 5 on the shot clock. Wright between the legs dribble. Shot from the left elbows in. And KK Wright continues to carry this UCF team. She's got 13. It's a 4-point lead for Pitt. Nelson over to Bug. Bug has it taken away from her. But UCF, I believe it was Thigpen who stepped on that line, giving Pitt the ball back. It's 16 seconds on the shot clock, leading 52-48. Into Nelson, but she walked. Turnover, back to the Knights.
And so far, Drew, I've been really impressed with the game of KK Wright. She's been a really consistent player for this UCF team over her previous season. She's played every game, had 139 assists, which was 7th in school history for a season last year. So great job of KK Wright being a contributor for this team.
McDonald's unable to get the 3 to go, and on the other side of KK Wright, it's really Sydnee McDonald who has made it happen for UCF in the second half. 11 points. Wright, on the other hand, has 9 in the second half, 13 altogether. Wright has the ball for UCF, and she goes over to McDonald, but now Paul puts up a contested layup, no good. Kaba's follow-up's no good, but she was fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair as UCF trails by 4 with 6:21 left in regulation.
And that foul went on Danielle Garvin, and that'll be her 4th.
Yep, that's 4 against Garvin. Starter for this Pitt team's got 4 points so far. First shot by Kaba is no good. The first free throw that's been attempted by UCF player other than Omakore. And the struggles continue as Kaba's unable to get the first of 2. Second one from Asani Kaba is good. And it's back to a 3-point game. 1 possession. UCF trailing Pitt, 52-49. Walsh on the near side. Goes to Judkins, who finds Bradley. Bradley, left-handed layup is good.
And what a feed from Kara Judkins down low to Bradley. And just a great job of ball movement and finding the open player by the Panthers.
UCF trailing by 5. And Wright, who's had a big second half, goes over to Jamisha Paul. Under 10 on the shot clock. Paul gets it to Wright, back out. McDonald wants a 3. She can't get it to go. Rebound fought for and thrown into the hands of Pitt. It's now Bradley who will kick it back out, slow things down. Nelson, though, gets it over. Walsh wants a 3. She can't get it to go. Rebounded by Nelson. Pitt with an offensive board and a chance to kill some more clock as the Panthers lead 54-49. Down low, Nelson gets it to Bradley. Bradley drives the baseline, but dribbles it off her foot, but there's a foul called against UCF. It's going to go against Sydnee McDonald, her first. That's UCF's team's second. Thigpen checks out for the Knights as Brittany Smith, the 6'3" freshman's back into the game for UCF. Whitney doesn't get a chance to inbound because a foul is taken by Pitt. Looked like it was Judkins who floored Smith. You see Judkins making contact with, it was Kaba for UCF. Either way, the Knights have the ball back, under 5 remaining in regulation, trailing by 5. Paul, back out to Wright. Wright wants a 3 and she got it. KK Wright's got 16, leading all scorers, and it's back to a 2-point lead for Pitt. Bradley for Pitt will go over to Walsh. Walsh to Whitney, wanted Bradley but threw it too high. In the ball, Walsh. She also knocks down some runners. She's had a big game so far, counting for 11 points. But UCF, trailing by 2, looks to either tie it up or take the lead on this possession, a little over 4 remaining. McDonald over to Paul. Paul drives into the paint. Her running shot's no good. Strong rebound by Judkins of the Panthers.
And a big rebound at that. We're now about to climb under 4 minutes left in this game, and coming away with no points for UCF is a big boost for the Panthers.
Whitney has the ball swatted away, though. And on the other end, and McDonald, and 1. The drive, the finish, and a chance to put UCF ahead.
And if you're Cassidy Walsh, if you're going to foul, you have to make sure that she's not going to score. They have a chance to take the lead now. So if you're going to take that foul, it has to be a strong one. And that makes now the 19th turnover for this Panthers team. 23
points off turnovers for UCF as opposed to the Panthers' 7. One of the differences in this game, McDonald has been a difference maker in the second half. That's 14 points, which have all come in the second half. UCF is back on top, 55-54. Bug to Whitney, back over to Bug. Panthers have had trouble down in the paint as well. A lot of outside shooting. Counted for the Panthers' points today. Bug drives in, a running shot. Rattles in, and Bug knocks down a big shot, giving her a dozen and giving Pitt a 1-point lead.
And a great job offensively by the Panthers, again, moving the ball, and then Bug, with that senior leadership, taking it to the hole.
Wright on the right side goes over to Paul. Paul drives into the paint, kicks it back out Wright. Wright ball fake, but she walked in the process of the ball fake and turns the ball back over to Pittsburgh. I mentioned those struggles in the paint. UCF, 26 points in the paint as opposed to Pitt's 12, and a big, big difference. Callista Walters just 4 points so far for Pitt. UCF has taken care of business down low, but the Panthers lead by a point. 2:40 left in regulation. Bradley goes over to Bug, into the hands of Garvin. Back out Whitney, now over to Bradley with 8 on the shot clock. Into the paint to Garvin. Garvin works down low to Walters. Excuse me, that's Judkins. And Judkins loses control of the ball, and it's out of bounds back into UCF's possession.
And that's the second time today that I've seen the Panthers, when they already have the ball in the paint, try and pass it down lower in the paint. And that's such a tough play whenever there's so many people down low.
And KK Wright keeps it going. 18 points in the lead back for the Knights. Whitney is fouled. That's Jamisha Paul, who gets called for her third, team third. And a timeout will be called.
Have 20 turnovers, and the Knights only have 7. So take care of the ball and move the ball around, get good shots.
Inbounded to Bug. As we're under 2 on the clock, left in regulation at the Peterson Event Center. Bug pulls up from the foul line. Her shot rolls in. Asia Bug with a big jump shot there, giving her 14 and giving Pitt the lead back with $1:45 left in regulation. KK Wright goes down low, Kaba. Kaba, her shot's no good because she was fouled on her trip to the lane. That's 5 against Garvin, and she's going to have to check out of the game as she is now fouled out. Finishing the game with 4 points, the senior Danielle Garvin averaged 6.5 points per game throughout the 2017-2018 campaign. Sends Kaba to the line. Chance to take the lead or tie the game, maybe take the lead. She knocks down the first of 2.
And on the other side, looking at fouls for the Knights, Schuler has 4 and Paul also has 4. So some foul trouble over on that side of the court as well.
2 big free throws by Massimo Kaba. Gives her 5. 1:35 remaining in regulation. Bradley. As the Panthers trail by a single point in the season opener. Bug. Controlling the ball, 13 on the shot clock. Nelson over to Whitney. Whitney, shot, no good. Fight for the ball, and it's off Pitt. Goes back to UCF with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in regulation. Shot just off the front of the iron, and it was Bradley who last touched it. Good call by the referees. And UCF a chance to kill some clock, maybe extend its 1-point lead. Paul drives into the paint. Her contested shot, no good. Under 60 seconds remaining. Bug will look to drive. She's in the paint. Her shot, no good. Grabs her own rebound. Out to Nelson. Nelson over to Whitney, who wants a 3. 3 won't go. Rebounded by UCF. And a foul called against the Panthers. A very good look by Whitney over in that corner right in front of the Pitt bench. 3-point try, can't get it to go.
And that'll put UCF at the free throw line, so a big spot here as they have not done well at all from the charity stripe. Only 8 of 15, so some big shots here from Paul as she hasn't shot free throws all afternoon.
Kaba knocked down a couple big ones just a moment ago, but overall, it's been a rough day from the foul line as Paul can't get the first to go. Lead stays at 59-58. Walsh checks in for the Panthers. It's Bradley who will take a seat. The senior Jamisha Paul with a chance to make it a 2-point game late in this contest. She knocks down the second. 60-58, and a timeout's called. A 30-second timeout by Coach Abe of UCF. And we're going to step aside with 41 seconds remaining in regulation. The Panthers trail UCF 60-58. Duties of this Pitt team has had the hot hand as well in this second half. So Whitney's been able to get it done from the line, but I I don't see them going down low here. They haven't had too much success today, so I expect a shot from the outside or somewhere just inside the perimeter as we are back into action with under 40 seconds remaining. Bug goes over to Whitney. Whitney driving the baseline, gets it to Walsh. But Walsh back over to Nelson with 18 on the shot clock, 30 on the game clock. Nelson drives in, out to Whitney. Whitney's shot is swatted away from behind, and it's rebounded by UCF.
And what a big block from Sydnee McDonald.
McDonald comes in from behind. Not the tallest player. Said it was a foul on Jasmine Whitney. It was actually a tie-up and a jump ball, but either way, the arrow was pointing in UCF's direction. So UCF will be inbounding here, leading 60-58, and it's McDonald who will inbound in front of UCF's bench into right. Quick foul has to be taken, and it is, as Whitney gets called for the foul on right, which will send Wright to the free throw line. Last season, shot 69% from the charity stripe. And a chance to make this a two-possession game with under 20 seconds remaining in regulation. So the junior Wright has quite possibly been the player of the game for this UCF team. Knocks down the first of two, giving her 19, giving UCF a 3-point lead.
And what a second half, because she only had 4 points going into halftime.
15 points in that first half of play, misses the second of two. Pitt with a chance, 12 seconds on the game clock. Bug goes right side with 4 on the game clock, puts up a 3, no good. Rebounded Nelson, back out the Bug, the shot won't go, and that's gonna do it.